I'm Audrey, 34 years old and a single mom to my wonderful 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Her long auburn hair was always her pride and joy, something we bonded over during our nightly brushing ritual. My sister Vanessa has always been the joker in our family, pushing boundaries that should never be crossed. But when she cut off my daughter's hair during my mother's anniversary party, I never expected my parents to laugh. My mother actually said, "She's not a pageant star anyway." While my father added, "Now she looks more like your kid." Before I tell you what happened next, let me know where you're watching from and hit that like and subscribe button. Trust me, what I did after they mocked my crying daughter will shock you. Life as a single mom hasn't been easy since my divorce from Daniel 3 years ago. We had been married for 7 years when he decided family life wasn't for him. He moved to Colorado for a new career, leaving me to raise Lily mostly on my own. He sends child support, usually late, and calls Lily maybe once a month. The financial strain has been tough, especially with preschool costs and maintaining our small 2-bedroom apartment on my teacher's salary. Despite the challenges, Lily has always been my joy. She's lively, imaginative, and has her father's green eyes, but my auburn hair. That hair became our special bond after Daniel left. Every night, we'd sit on her bed, and I'd brush it 100 strokes while she shared stories from her day at kindergarten. It was our ritual, our connection. Her hair grew past her shoulders, soft and radiant. She loved comparing herself to Ariel from her favorite movie. My sister Vanessa, 3 years younger, always seemed to compete with me growing up. Our parents, Margaret and Robert, often excused her behavior, saying, "She's just being herself," or "She's the artistic one." As kids, Vanessa would ruin my books or take my jewelry without asking, returning it broken. If I complained, my parents told me to be more understanding, to be the bigger person because I was older. This continued into adulthood. Vanessa would make snide comments about my life choices or appearance, then claim she was just teasing when I got upset. She married Nathan, a successful architect, and they have twin girls who are 8. Vanessa doesn't work, focusing instead on her social media, where she presents herself as the ideal mom and homemaker, posting curated family photos and elaborate crafts with her daughters. My parents still enable her. My mother, Margaret, 62, calls Vanessa her wild child while expecting me to be the dependable one. My father, Robert, 65, a dentist nearing retirement, has always doted on Vanessa. Growing up, I was expected to excel academically and help at home, while Vanessa was praised for minimal effort. Despite our strained relationship, I try to keep family ties for Lily's sake. I wanted her to have grandparents and an aunt, even if they weren't always kind to me. I thought family mattered. I see now how naive that was. The incident happened during my mother's 40th anniversary party at my parents' coastal condo in Oregon. It was a Saturday afternoon, with about 20 relatives and some of my mother's book club friends present. Lily was thrilled to play with her cousins, and I'd spent extra time that morning braiding her hair with a green ribbon that matched her dress. When we arrived, Vanessa commented on Lily's hair. "Wow, someone's trying to steal the spotlight," she said with her usual fake laugh. I brushed it off, as I often did with her remarks. I noticed her watching Lily throughout the afternoon with an odd look, but I didn't think much of it. In hindsight, I should have been more cautious. As the party went on, I was helping my mother in the dining room while Lily played upstairs with her cousins. Vanessa had vanished about 20 minutes earlier, but I didn't suspect anything. My mother was critiquing my fruit salad, saying I should have added more citrus like Vanessa does, when we heard a scream from upstairs. My stomach dropped, that maternal instinct kicking in. I dropped the bowl and raced upstairs, my heart pounding. The scream came again as I reached the landing. "Mommy!" Lily's voice was filled with fear and confusion. I followed the sound to the guest bathroom, pushing past Vanessa's twins, who stood in the hallway looking uneasy. When I burst through the door, my blood ran cold. Lily stood in front of the mirror, hands on her head, sobbing. Scattered around her feet were long strands of auburn hair, strewn across the tile like discarded ribbons. Vanessa stood behind her, scissors in hand, a smirk on her lips. "What did you do?" I gasped, rushing to Lily and pulling her into my arms. Her hair was chopped unevenly, some parts barely an inch long, the braid we'd done that morning lying on the counter like a broken promise. Relax, it's just a prank, Vanessa said, setting the scissors down casually. Hair grows back. We were playing salon, right, Lily? She looked at my daughter as if expecting agreement, but Lily just buried her face in my shirt, trembling with sobs. A prank? You call this a prank? I said, my voice rising as shock turned to fury. Look what you've done to her. How could you? Vanessa rolled her eyes, that familiar dismissive gesture. God, Emily, you're so dramatic. It's just hair. She needed a trim anyway, those ends were a mess. I turned Lily away from the mirror, shielding her from the sight of her ruined hair. You had no right, I said, my voice shaking. No right to touch my daughter without my permission. It was just fun, Vanessa insisted, crossing her arms. The girls thought it was funny. I glanced at my nieces, peering through the doorway. They didn't look amused, they looked scared. This was Vanessa's doing, not theirs. Lily, honey, I said, kneeling to her level, I'm so sorry. We'll fix this, okay? We'll make it better. But Lily kept crying, her hands covering her head, refusing to look at herself. Rage surged through me. I stood, facing my sister. This is beyond anything you've ever done, Vanessa. This is cruel. She's 6 years old. You need to chill, Vanessa said, turning to leave. Come on, girls. Aunt Emily's being a buzzkill again. I was shaking with anger as I carried Lily downstairs. I needed my parents to see what Vanessa had done. Surely, this time, they'd take my side. The party went quiet as I entered the living room with my sobbing daughter. My father was mid-story, glass in hand, but stopped when he saw us. My mother hurried over, concern on her face, until she saw Lily's hair. Then, to my horror, she laughed. Oh my goodness, she said, covering her mouth but not hiding her amusement. What happened here? Vanessa cut her hair, I said through clenched teeth. She called it a prank. My father chuckled, looking at Lily's ruined hair. Well, Vanessa's been playing stylist, has she? This isn't funny, I said, feeling Lily's tears soak my shirt. Look how upset she is. My mother waved it off. She'll get over it. It's not like she's a pageant star anyway. I felt slapped. Did my mother just say that about her granddaughter? Before I could respond, my father added, now she looks more like your kid, smirking, referencing an old family joke that Lily took after Daniel. The room grew silent. A few guests looked away, embarrassed. Nathan, Vanessa's husband, looked ashamed but stayed quiet. Vanessa stood in the doorway, a smug smile on her face. She'd done it again, hurt me and got away with it, even praised. Something broke inside me, not just the girls thought it was funny. I glanced at my nieces, peering through They weren't just enabling Vanessa, they were part of the cruelty. I looked around at the relatives who'd watched me grow up, now silent as my child was humiliated. We're leaving, I announced, heading for the door with Lily in my arms. No one stopped us. No one apologized. As I walked out, I heard chatter resume behind me, as if nothing had happened. The drive home was filled with Lily's heartbreaking sobs from the back seat. Each time she calmed, she'd touch her head and cry again. I promised we'd fix it, but I was fighting tears myself. The betrayal stung not just for me, but for my innocent child. At home, I set Lily in front of our bathroom mirror to assess the damage. It was worse than I thought. Vanessa had cut so unevenly that the only option was a very short cut to even it out. Honey, I said gently, we'll go to a salon tomorrow to fix this. They'll need to cut it short, but it'll grow back. I promise. They weren't just enabling Vanessa, they were part of the cruelty. I looked around at the relatives who'd watched me grow up, now silent as my child was humiliated. We're leaving, I announced, heading for the door with Lily in my arms. No one stopped us. No one apologized. As I walked out, I heard chatter resume behind me, as if nothing had happened. The drive home was filled with Lily's heartbreaking sobs from the back seat. Each time she calmed, she'd touch her head and cry again. I promised we'd fix it, but I was fighting tears myself. The betrayal stung not just for me, but for my innocent child. At home, I set Lily in front of our bathroom mirror to assess the damage. It was worse than I thought. Vanessa had cut so unevenly that the only option was a very short cut to even it out. "Honey," I said gently, "we'll go to a salon tomorrow to fix this. They'll need to cut it short." "They did what?" she exclaimed. "Emily, that's abuse. Vanessa's actions were assault, and your parents' reaction was emotional abuse. You need to cut them out." "I know," I said, my voice breaking. I kept hoping they'd change, be the family Lily deserves. "They've shown you who they are," Sarah said. "Believe them. Show Lily it's not okay for people to treat her this way, even family." She was right. I'd spent my life excusing their behavior, being the bigger person for Lily's sake. But what was I teaching her? That it's okay for family to humiliate her? I barely slept, haunted by nightmares of Lily being mocked by classmates, teachers, strangers. The next morning, I called every salon in town until I found one for an emergency appointment. The stylist, a kind woman named Rachel, was appalled when I explained what happened. She gave Lily a pixie cut that looked intentional, not the result of a cruel prank. Lily cried again seeing the result, but Rachel was gentle. "You look like a fairy sprite," she told Lily. "Short hair can be magical, like Tinker Bell." Lily didn't know Tinker Bell, but Rachel's kindness calmed her slightly. Still, on the way home, Lily asked, "Mommy, do I have to go to school tomorrow? The kids will laugh." I considered keeping her home, but knew it would only delay things. "No one will laugh, sweetheart," I said, though I wasn't sure. "Your hair looks cute, and if anyone's mean, tell your teacher." That night, Lily had nightmares, waking up screaming that Vanessa was cutting her ears off. I held her until she slept, my anger growing. Monday morning, I returned to work at Lincoln Elementary, where I teach 3rd grade. I called Lily's school to explain, asking her teacher to watch for teasing. Dropping Lily off, my heart broke seeing her clutch her backpack, shoulders hunched as if trying to disappear. At work, I was distracted. My colleague, Mia, noticed during our break. "What's wrong, Emily? You almost mixed up the lesson plans." I broke down, telling her everything. Mia was outraged. "And you're letting them get away with this?" she asked. "What choice do I have? They're her family." "No, Emily," Mia said. "Family protects each other. They hurt your child," and laughed. "They need consequences." Her words stuck with me. When I picked Lily up, I was relieved no one had been overtly mean, though she was quieter than usual. At home, she avoided the bathroom and asked me to cover the hallway mirror. My heart ached watching her struggle with this violation. That night, after Lily slept, I sat at my kitchen table and decided enough was enough. I'd spent my life letting my family walk over me, hoping to shield Lily. I'd failed. It was time for them to feel the pain they'd caused my child. It was time for revenge. Over the next few days, I planned. Cutting Vanessa's hair while she slept was tempting but too obvious. I needed something subtler, hitting them where it hurt, their image and reputations. Vanessa's perfect online persona, my mother's social circle, my father's professional standing, their appearances mattered most. I checked Vanessa's social media. She had a big freelance graphic design pitch coming up, calling it her career-defining moment. My father's retirement party was in a month, with his dental colleagues and local professionals invited. My mother had been planning it obsessively. I took a day off work, saying I needed to take Lily to a follow-up hair appointment. Instead, I arranged for Lily to spend the day with Sarah's daughter, her best friend. I didn't tell Sarah my full plan, just that I had family matters to handle. At a beauty supply store, I bought temporary purple hair dye, washable after several shampoos, and itching powder from a prank shop. At a hardware store, I got super glue and other supplies. I bought a prepaid phone from an electronics shop for untraceable communication. At home, I created a fake social media account with a stock photo profile. I researched Vanessa's professional contacts and my father's dental practice, collecting emails and numbers. Doubts crept in, was I going too far? But seeing Lily hide her hair under hoodies, her confidence replaced by shame, steeled my resolve. They'd hurt my child and shown no remorse. They deserved consequences. The next morning, I dropped Lily at school. Her teacher had given her cute hair clips, which helped a bit, but her struggle fueled my determination. I knew Vanessa and Nathan worked from home on Wednesdays, but Nathan had a weekly tennis match, and Vanessa attended a Pilates class from 9 to 10:30. Their housekeeper was off, and the twins were at school. Their house would be empty. I had a key from watching their twins during their last vacation. They never asked for it back. At 9:15, I parked a block from their upscale townhouse in Portland and slipped in through the back door. The neighborhood was quiet, most residents at work or school. Their home was pristine as always. I went to the master bathroom, finding Vanessa's luxury hair products. I emptied half her shampoo and mixed in the purple dye, ensuring it would tint her hair by her pitch. I added itching powder to her foundation and powder, invisible until it caused redness 30 minutes after application. In her closet, I found the outfit she'd posted about for her pitch, a cream blazer and navy skirt. I applied super glue to seams, ensuring they'd split embarrassingly. Using the prepaid phone, I sent emails to her clients, warning them about Vanessa's unprofessionalism with links to fake review sites I'd made. Next, I went to my parents' condo, knowing they were at their weekly bridge game. Using my emergency key, I swapped my mother's premium moisturizer for one that would cause temporary redness. In my father's closet, I tampered with his custom retirement party suit, gluing seams in the crotch and pockets. On their computer, I accessed my father's email. His password was my mother's maiden name, unchanged for years. I canceled his pre-party meetings with colleagues, using an odd tone to raise eyebrows without prompting immediate follow-up. I logged into Vanessa's social media, using her twin's birthday as her password. I posted embarrassing old photos of her, captioned as nostalgic, scheduling them to trickle out over days. As I worked, I felt both horror at my actions and fierce satisfaction. They'd finally face consequences. I wiped down surfaces, left everything as I found it, and picked Lily up from school. That evening, as I helped with her homework, I felt calm. The plan was in motion. Now I waited. The next morning, I went to work, keeping my phone close. During lunch, my mother called. "Emily, we have a problem," she said, stressed. "Vanessa's hair is turning purple." I feigned concern. "Purple? How?" "She washed it this morning, and it's getting worse. Her big pitch is tomorrow." "What's she going to do?" I suppressed a smile. "Maybe it's a new shampoo reaction." "She's used the same products forever," my mother snapped. "She's hysterical." "That's awful," I said, sounding sympathetic. "Can't she wash it again?" "She's tried, it's worse. She's got an emergency hairdresser appointment, but who knows if they can fix it." "Well, it's just hair," I said, echoing Vanessa. "It grows back, right?" There was a pause. "This isn't funny, Emily. This could ruin her career." "Kind of like cutting a 6-year-old's hair could ruin her confidence," I said. Another pause. "Are you suggesting something?" "Just perspective, Mom. I've got to get back to work. Hope Vanessa sorts it out." I hung up, feeling a thrill of satisfaction. That evening, Vanessa called, her face on video call showing purple-tinted hair and a red, blotchy face from the itching powder. "Emily, help me," she pleaded. "I've tried everything. My pitch is tomorrow." "That's rough," I said mildly. "Tried a color corrector?" "Of course," she snapped. "And my face is breaking out from my makeup. I look awful." "Maybe reschedule," I suggested. "I can't, the clients are only here 2 days." She was near tears, a rare sight. "Did you do this?" she demanded. "How would I, Vanessa? I haven't been to your house in months. This started after Mom's party. After Lily's hair." "You mean after you cut my daughter's hair and laughed with Mom and Dad?" Her face flushed. "It was a joke, Emily. You're so sensitive. And now your hair's purple. Funny, right? Just a joke." Realization hit her. "You did this." "How?" "I don't know what you mean," I said calmly. "But it sounds like consequences." "Funny how that works." "I'll tell Mom and Dad," she threatened. "Go ahead. Tell them their perfect daughter's having a bad hair day. I'm sure they'll care more than they did about Lily." I ended the call, feeling satisfied yet sad for what our relationship had become. The next morning, my father texted, "Need to talk. Call me." I waited until lunch. "What's up, Dad?" I asked casually. "Something's off," he said, annoyed. "My retirement suit's seams are splitting and Margaret's face is red from some new cream." That's odd, I said. Bad timing with your party. Very bad, he agreed. And Vanessa missed her pitch because she looked like a mess. It's like we're jinxed. Or maybe karma, I suggested. What's that mean? Just an observation. Image problems are tough when appearances matter so much to you all. Another pause. You did this, didn't you? His voice had that old, stern tone. I'm not sure what you're implying, but the universe has a way of balancing things. Emily and Thompson, he said, using my full name. If you tampered with our things, you'd what, Dad? Laugh at me? Mock my child? Oh, wait, you did that. He was silent. This isn't like you. No? Laughing at a crying 6-year-old isn't like loving grandparents either. I could hear him struggling to respond. We may have been a bit thoughtless about the hair. Thoughtless? You called it a hair situation. My daughter was violated and you laughed. That's a strong accusation, he said stiffly. It's a fact. Now I've got students to teach. Good luck with your suit. I hung up, hands trembling but feeling empowered. That afternoon, Nathan called, surprising me. He'd always been polite but distant. Emily, we need to talk. About the hair, Lily's, and now Vanessa's, the pitch disaster. All of it. I'm listening, I said cautiously. What Vanessa did was wrong. I should have spoken up. It was cruel. His admission stunned me. Thank you. That means a lot. Your parents' reaction was wrong too, he continued. I was shocked, but I stayed out of it. I know how your family works. He paused. These coincidences aren't coincidences, are they? I stayed silent. I'm not asking you to admit anything, he said. I just understand why someone might want to even the score. Vanessa's starting to get it too. What do you mean? She canceled her pitch and said last night, maybe I went too far with Lily. It wasn't just a joke. I was floored, Vanessa admitting fault. There's a chance for healing here, Nathan said, if everyone owns their part. That'd require my parents admitting they're wrong, I said skeptically. I've never seen that. People can surprise you, he said. Especially when they're forced to face themselves. He added, Lily's a great kid, and what happened was wrong. I've told the twins that too. After we hung up, I wondered if my revenge had sparked real change, or if this was manipulation. Time would tell, but I felt satisfied knowing they were facing consequences. Days passed quietly. No calls from my parents, no texts from Vanessa. I focused on Lily, who was adjusting to her haircut. Her teacher used it to teach the class about embracing differences, and some kids even got similar cuts, thinking Lily was cool. A week later, my mother texted, family dinner this Saturday. Neutral location. Coastal Grill, 7 p.m. We need to talk. A neutral spot was unusual. My parents usually demanded we meet at their condo and act like nothing happened. I consulted Sarah. It could be a trap, she warned. Or they might want to apologize, I said, doubting it myself. Only one way to find out, Sarah said. But your priority is Lily. I arranged for Lily to sleep over at Sarah's, sparing her more drama. At Coastal Grill, my family was seated at a corner table. Vanessa's hair was under a hat, faint purple visible at the edges. My mother's face still showed irritation. My father shifted uncomfortably, as if his clothes bothered him. Emily, thanks for coming, my mother said stiffly. I nodded. Where's Nathan and the girls? Nathan thought just the four of us should talk first, Vanessa said, avoiding my eyes. We ordered drinks and sat in silence until they arrived. My father cleared his throat. Emily, there have been some odd events lately. So I've heard, I said, sipping my wine. Very odd, my mother said. Vanessa's hair turned purple before her pitch. My moisturizer caused a rash. Your father's suit fell apart. All after I finished, you laughed at my daughter when Vanessa cut her hair. They exchanged glances. We think these events aren't random, my father said. I met his gaze. Interesting theory. Emily, Vanessa said hesitantly, did you do something to my shampoo, my makeup? I weighed my response. Denying it was easy but let them off. Admitting risked their anger. What if I did? I said. What if someone decided people who hurt a child and laughed deserve consequences? My mother gasped. So you sabotaged us? I admit nothing, I said calmly. But let's talk about what you'll admit. Vanessa, was cutting Lily's hair wrong? Mom, Dad, was laughing at her cruel. Silence. Then Vanessa spoke. I shouldn't have cut her hair, she said quietly. It was mean, not funny. I was jealous. Of a 6-year-old? I asked, stunned. Of her beauty, your bond with her. I don't have that with the twins. They prefer Nathan. Her voice broke. I'm sorry. I was shocked Vanessa never apologized. My mother spoke next. We were insensitive, she admitted reluctantly. Insensitive? I repeated. You said, she's not a pageant star anyway, about your granddaughter. My mother looked ashamed. It was thoughtless. I didn't mean it. I turned to my father. You said she looks like my kid now. Do you know how that hurt us? He cleared his throat. It was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Their apologies were minimal but real, something I never expected. If, my father said, someone tampered with our things, that's unacceptable, maybe criminal. If someone did, I said, it's because they were out of options after years of dismissed feelings and violated boundaries. Watching their child hurt was the last straw. Silence fell. We haven't been fair to you, my mother said softly. No, I said. And worse, you haven't been fair to Lily. Vanessa pulled out a gift bag. For Lily, she said, sliding it to me. Inside were hair clips and headbands in Lily's favorite colors. For when her hair grows back, Vanessa said. And for now, to help her feel better. The gesture touched me. Thank you. She'll love them. How's she doing? My mother asked, genuine concern in her voice. She's adjusting, I said. Her teacher's been great, and some kids think her hair's cool, but she still gets upset. My father nodded. Kids are tough, but they shouldn't have to be against family. We discussed boundaries, no more pranks, no dismissing feelings, no enabling hurt. As we left, I offered an olive branch. If someone tampered with your things, they might admit it wasn't mature. But sometimes, desperate measures protect those we love. My father nodded. Understandable, not excusable. We need to protect each other, not hurt, I said. They agreed. Vanessa pulled me aside. I'm sorry, Emily, for Lily's hair and years of competing. It's cost me my sister. It's not too late, I said softly. If you're willing to try. She nodded, teary. I miss my sister. Driving home, I reflected. My revenge was petty but forced them to hear me. Was it mature? No. Would I do it again? Maybe not. But it sparked change, and I couldn't regret that. Over the next weeks, we rebuilt cautiously. It wasn't smooth, old patterns lingered, but there was effort to acknowledge wrongs. Vanessa spent an afternoon with Lily, bringing art supplies and apologizing sincerely. Lily hugged her, saying, I like my hair short now. It's easier to brush. My parents were slower. My father showed remorse through actions, starting a savings fund for Lily and buying gifts she actually liked. My mother opened up over coffee. I was harder on you because you reminded me of myself, practical, responsible. I pushed you away. I'm sorry. Her words healed old wounds. We started family therapy with Dr. Carter, tough but helpful. Vanessa admitted her pranks came from insecurity, feeling I was the favorite. You were perfect, she said. I could never compete. They always took your side, I countered. They expected more from you, my father said. We had lower standards for Vanessa, which wasn't fair. These truths didn't erase the pain but helped us understand. Lily embraced her pixie cut, adding colorful streaks. Her confidence grew, supported by her teacher and friends. A month later, our first new normal family gathering was awkward, but had genuine laughter. Nathan whispered, I'm glad you did it, whatever woke them up. I nodded, not admitting anything. That night, brushing Lily's growing hair, she asked, why is everyone nicer now? Like the thinking spot at school, she asked. Exactly, I smiled. Everyone took a turn in the thinking spot. Even you, she asked. Even me, I admitted. I learned protecting you might mean doing things not quite right, but we learn and do better. She hugged me. I'm glad you're my mommy. I'm glad you're my daughter, I whispered, heartful. The journey continues, change takes time, and old habits resurface. But now there's accountability and effort. I learned standing up for your loved ones can require bold action. People can change when faced with consequences. Family is worth fighting for if everyone works at it. Protecting Lily means teaching her she deserves respect and how to stand up for herself. My revenge wasn't mature, but it broke unbreakable patterns. Family is messy. Those who should love us most can hurt us deeply. But with honesty and boundaries, healing is possible. What about you? Have you ever taken drastic steps to protect someone or break toxic family patterns? Share below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Protecting those we love is always worth it, even when it's hard.